So if you made it through the last video and you heard me say that I wanted to talk about this William Collins knife, I appreciate it for you sticking around and watching the next video. This is the William Collins knife, and I talked to him a little while about it through PM and on the telephone, and William really knows his stuff. I mean, he knows things about knives that I have no idea what he's even talking about sometimes. He's like some kind of knife genius, which is exactly how I would describe this big old chunk of steel. I would describe this as being genius. I'm going to put it on the stump here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I'm going to let you take a closer look at it. I'm going to describe some of its features, and I'm going to also try to put in some clips from the last video for those who didn't watch, to show them basically how I use a knife. I use a knife mostly for furniture, camp setup, processing firewood, food processing, things like that. If you have the opportunity, you want to check this out. He describes this as a large knife with a Woodsman grind. It looks to me as though, now he says distill taper, it looks to me as though it goes from Scandi to a Scandivex type full flat. I don't know, this is a pretty high grind right here. But then as it comes around to the tip, it ends up being a full flat. So you can see the progression as it goes from the height here, and then it comes around and it slowly starts to lower all the way to the tip. Like I said, the guy's a genius. To me, I find this tool to be more useful because of its size, thickness, weight, heft. You have this hole here, which in my last video I also used to grab it by the belly. So when you slip this lanyard onto your forearm, you're shortening the length of the blade. So now you have all this up front to where my finger can still go through here on the side and to the point. Now I just made this blade shorter. So I can get in here and I can do finer detail work with a tip if I need to. This belly here I use to process food, rocking it back and forth. I started back here and ended up here like this because it made it easier. You have your Scandi grind here, and this portion of the blade allows you to whittle down. It will do some really fine shavings, and I can get really thin curls out of this. And it doesn't matter where I do it, I can do it up front too. There you go, there's some pigtails. And this is seasoned maple. It's really hard maple. I do a lot of small chopping, and you saw with my stick furniture here that I do a lot of this kind of action here. And with this handle and the positions that you have on the handle, you have the back here. It really wants to stick. You have the middle here, and then you have the forward grip, which William demonstrates in some of his videos. And then what I liked about it was that you also have this position here that turns it into Ginsu chop. Kind of like an ulu. A lot of forward weight. It feels really good. I could see this replacing my trackers. Let me zoom you out and I'll show you what else I can use this hole for. Alright, let's say you're making a bow. Now what I did was I went and got a stick with the branch coming off, and I just cut off the branch. I carved this down to where it'll accept into the hole. And it's just the right angle to where it doesn't bite too deep. It doesn't remove too much material. But it gets my hand out of the way of the cutting edge. What I wanted to show with this was basically that's how I use it. I use it for stick furniture, I use it for shelter building, that kind of stuff. Food processing. This knife right here, this is a great knife. My thoughts on this William Collins knife, I really like it. I would recommend it. So that's it, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the last video if you got to see it. I'll throw some clips in. Once again, I appreciate everybody watching. All your likes, comments, subscriptions. Enjoy the outdoors. Here it is. We got potatoes, kale, bacon, sausage, heavy cream, crushed red pepper, garlic, and the bacon was peppered smoked bacon, so Yeah.